Hello everyone, I am Arjun. I'm back with another new video. So first of all, I would like to thank everyone who watches my video. I try to read all the comments. I'm sorry I couldn't post for the past couple of weeks maybe. I want to post new videos in the upcoming weeks. I target to post about the dedicated USMLE timeline for students as well as those who are in their final year or internship, and also the ones who have already graduated. That's one video which I'm going to do soon. And also another video which is heavily requested is the expenses when somebody decides to pursue this USMLE journey. So first of all, I would like to say that in this video, Dr. Sakhi Bhansali, she is one of my juniors from my med school in Calcutta, Kolkata, India. So Dr. Bhansali and we run a Facebook page called Curious Cranium. In Curious Cranium, Dr. Bhansali and we post medical cases and videos, like diagnostic videos. So I would just like to show you guys, like it's something which we are really interested in doing. Like in case you want to contribute to our page, feel free to do. So please give a like if you are on Facebook. There is also an Instagram page of the where we post the same things. So here, let's just quickly go over this. So this is like hypocalcemia. You can see this is the Vostek sign, blinks when you like hit the facial nerves. And this is one of the cases which we found during our orthopedic posting. This is a case of McCune-Albright syndrome. So usually what we do is every week or every other week, we try to post an interesting case which we saw during our medical posting, and then maybe 2 or 3 days later, we post the answer in the comment section or make a separate post about it. So yeah, this is a case of like multiple ring enhancing lesions. This particular case being of tuberculosis. Let's go down. This was C1 esterase deficiency. So yeah, so this is the original video which we posted at Curious Cranium. This was like maybe 2 months back, but I want to post it on my YouTube channel. This is Dr. Bhansali. She is right now she was doing her internship, so she wants to pursue neurology here in the United States. She did her electives from Mayo Clinic as well as University of Alabama. We both want to pursue our residency here in the United States. So I am performing GI research, and my main research interest being early detection of pancreatic cancer. So yeah, that being said, like give Curious Cranium a like. You can see that this is a case where we get to see tardive dyskinesia. So this person, she came from the psychiatric ward, and unfortunately she developed this. So we try to like post many things as we interesting cases and diagnostic images and challenges as we come along. I hope you will like it. So another thing which I want to say before I start the video is I want to thank Dr. Rohit Nathani. He did his MBBS from KEM Mumbai, India, and right now he started his residency at St. Luke's Mount Sinai, New York. So I posted my own experience, like the whole in details. Like if you want to go over a document, it's posted at the Indian medical student. So I have posted it over here. So I will link this post down. So you can also check out his website for other people who took their USMLE and like other exams like TOEFL as well as other things, like in case you are interested. So yeah, that being said, let's start the video.
Hi everyone. So my name is Dr. Sakhi Bhansali. I'm an intern at Calcutta National Medical College and Hospital, which is a teaching hospital based out of Kolkata, India. And I have with me here Dr. Arjun Chatterjee. He is going to introduce himself later on. Both of us basically curated Curious Cranium, and we had several reasons to do that. But the reason why we are recording this video today was one of the reasons why we made Curious Cranium. So this video, the only aim for this video is basically to give people who want to take the USMLE Step 2 CK exam and like a basic guide on how to go about it. So Dr. Arjun Chatterjee, please say 2 lines or 2 words about yourself.
So thank you, Sakhi, for having me. So yeah, I did my MBBS from the same institution as you, Calcutta National Medical College. It's based in Calcutta. So after finishing my MBBS and also during my MBBS, I took my Step 1. And during my internship, I took my Step 2 CS. I want to do my residency here in the United States. That's why I needed to take the Step 2 CK exam. It's usually like the 2nd or 3rd exam which people take on their USMLE journey. So right now I'm here in Mayo Clinic, Rochester, Minnesota, the United States. I am working as a research trainee.
So can you please tell us when you took the exam and why you decided to take the exam at that time?
Yes, so like out of the 3 exams which you need to take for your residency, step 1, step 2 CS, and step 2 CK. I took my step 1 during my 3rd year of medical school, immediately after my basic science course. I took my CS when I went for electives. That was before my final year. And I took my step 2 CK just after my final year when I was done with med school and I'm about to graduate. Yeah. So step 1 in 2018, step 2 CS in, step 1 in 2016, step 2 CS in 2018, and step 2 CK this February 2020.
Great. Okay. So, and now can you just take us through, like, just walk us through your whole process of studying for step 2 CK, because it's diverse. I understand that there can be different approaches. So we would like to know yours.
Yes, so like most of us like who are watching this video must be really interested about the USMLE journey, because step 2 CK is a far advanced exam. Like, this is not step 1. The best thing about step 1 was there was this one single book which we all could rely on. That was First Aid for USMLE step 1. I took it in 2016, so I had the 2016 edition. But for step 2 CK, the main problem is there is no like one shoe size fits everyone. So right now what I did was I had this basic read, and then there was this advanced read. So what is a basic read? I would say that like after I was done with my step 1 during my final year, since all the subjects are like similar to the course material similar to that of step 2 CK, medicine, surgery, gynae, peds, etc. So what I did was I did my basic read in final year and maybe in internship also while I was preparing for step 2 CS maybe. And then there is this focused advanced read where I totally concentrate on step 2 CK material so that I can like prepare well for the exam. Right. So that was like about, yeah, those are the like 2 main things which I did.
Okay, so your basic period lasted maybe a year, and your focused advanced period lasted a few months before you finally took the exam, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
So can you tell us the resources you used for the basic and advanced prep?
Yes, so during the basic read, I would say like it's very difficult for a final year medical student to know like which resources to use, since we have like a multitude of resources, and we are from India. We have like our own medicine books. Some prefer Harrison, Davidson, whatever. But for step 2 CK, like my whole goal was to focus my attention towards step 2 CK even during my final year. So I ended up using a couple of resources which I would like to share with you guys. It's free. So Online Made It is one of the resources which I found later on, like during my internship time, and it's made by Dr. Justin, and like they have all these videos for like the pure clinical course, like step 2 CK course. I watched the videos, I made my own notes. Some people can also buy the notes from the website. Another great resource was Dr. Paul Bolin on YouTube. We can link him down in the description on the post. So he has his own videos. I ended up using gynecology and obstetrics videos of him because those were like really high yield for me. And another resource which I ended up using, and I would also suggest other people to do so, is Dr. Pestana's surgery notes. Now, for a basic read and basic understanding of surgery, the way surgery is being taught at least in India, in our institution, is we focus more on the procedure, but not on the indications and the complications and like why we are choosing an invasive procedure over like the medical treatment. Now, to get an idea of like USMLE step 2 CK, the surgical division, at least being familiarized with the questions, I think Dr. Pestana's notes are like really good. So yeah, I covered those during my basic read.
Right. Okay. And so you did several resources for your basic read. Did you also solve the World question bank during your internship year?
Yeah. So this is the thing. Like you World like goes into the advanced preparation kind of thing, but like the advanced kind of overlaps with the basic read. Right. So there is this particular way in which I solved U World. So for CK, I would suggest right now going into the advanced thing, solve U World twice. Now, when you solve U World the first time, the best approach is to do it in a systematic manner, because U World in itself is a resource of like, let's say 4,000, 5,000 pages on its own. So if you really want to learn medicine, let's say cardiology, you do it in a systematic wise order. You choose medicine, you hit cardio, you do all the questions one by one. You read all the explanations, make your own notes. So during my internship year, yes, I did U World once, but that was systematic, untimed tutor mode. That really helped me grasp like an overall knowledge of like what I will be tested on and what I'm supposed to know. But it was not like really in depth. It wasn't going into the nooks and crannies of like going into like trying to understand and all the like basic details which I needed to remember. But I did an like overall view of
Right.
like
And
UWorld.
that
Yeah.
kind of makes sense because I'm someone who's also actually preparing for the Step 2 CK exam right now, and solving the U World on the systematic mode really helps you with your core clerkship rotations in your university, no matter whichever part of the world you are in. Like when I'm reading blunt abdominal trauma, and the next day when I go to the surgery ward and see a patient of blunt abdominal trauma walk in, I know what to do, I know what not to do, and I know why I'm doing that. And it's much easier when you've seen it firsthand, and then you can, the image pops in your mind in the exam and you know what to do precisely. So yeah, that
Yes.
makes sense. Right. And what other sources for advance apart from UWorld?
So UWorld, like once I was done with the basic read, that is the systematic like review of UWorld. That's like the first time I went to through UWorld. So after that, like I took a break, maybe 1 month of vacation. I was done with my med school, and I wanted to solve UWorld once more. So
Right.
this time I did UWorld in only 1.5 months. So that's like what, 45 days.
Right.
And like I did it untimed, of
Right.
course, randomized, untimed. And this was really helpful because I got questions from all the parts of like Step 2 CK. Like it was like an exam like feel. I used to do about maybe say 2 or 2.5 blocks per day, like on an average. And yeah, but this time what I did, I didn't make like proper detailed notes or something. I just wrote why I got the question wrong and why was the question being asked on the first place. Like in UWorld being a like very good resource on its own, the questions are not something which the like question takers like come up with just out of the blue. Like it's really
Not
important. Why
meant,
is that particular?
right, right. And it's not meant
Yeah,
to basically show you something you don't, it's not meant to kind of tell you that you don't know something or point at you, which normally many professors in our universities do. It's basically to teach
correct.
you something that is very important. So yeah, that makes sense. Right.
So yeah, let me continue with that. Apart from UWorld, what I would say is sometimes you're going to come across questions in UWorld. Let's say, like I always try to give this example, like milk alkali syndrome.
Right.
Sometimes the explanation in UWorld is not sufficient for you to understand like what they're trying to say because they also have limited amount of space
Right.
and characters to
Right.
explain that. So
Right.
in case if you want to like study more about these particular like questions or doubts which you have while solving UWorld, maybe the first pass or second pass, what you can do is you can use a resource called Uptodate. Uptodate is like one of the most well-known resources here in the United States, and a lot of people, including like professors at like Mayo Clinic, also use this, and they also write and regularly update their articles.
Right.
So yeah, that's something which I will recommend.
So about Uptodate, guys, we understand that many universities abroad, mostly in the US and UK, developed countries, provide Uptodate to their students free of cost. It's part of the med school package. And many developing country universities, I mean, I can talk about universities in India, many of them do not provide that. So buying Uptodate as a monthly or yearly package gets very expensive. But both of us are using Uptodate right now, and we're doing it free of cost. We got an Uptodate scholarship, and the link to how to get the scholarship, we're going to put that up on the description box of this blog, and you all can look at it and yeah, just give honest answers on why you want Uptodate, and if they think you need the scholarship, they'll give you the scholarship. So yeah. What next?
So hopefully those, yeah. So hopefully those who are watching this must like follow Curious Cranium on as a Facebook page, because we try to provide the like most of our own experiences as well as like clinical cases, like difficult cases which we have come across, and like try to ask questions and like give answers, and also try to post something interesting which we found. So we shared this today back in December, and I think that helped about like 30-40 people, if not more, who got their subscription through our post.
Yeah. And that was very heartwarming for us as well. It was very, we were happy that we were helping people, and we know how immensely helpful Uptodate is. So everyone, please subscribe to it. And if you can afford it, please buy it. And if you can't, just get this scholarship if you can, right? So yeah, so you used Uptodate, you used Ambos, I think, as well, to kind of search if you couldn't get through.
Right? Yes. So yeah, that being said, like Ambos has this own library of its own. So you, if you want to search, let's say, abdominal aortic aneurysm, so what you can do is you can go to Google, you can search AAA, then put a space bar and write Ambos. And that is going to automatically bring you to that page. And the best thing about Ambos is like the information is really curated for this competitive exams, like for USMLE and other exams. So you can like go and study exactly what you need, and it's really detailed. You don't need to go over everything. What you can use Ambos for is almost like using Uptodate just to clarify your own doubts. Yeah.
And one source that even I would recommend is Osmosis. It's very similar to Ambos, but it's a little less detailed. For someone who doesn't want to know everything about, just an example, abdominal aortic aneurysm, and wants like a pictorial representation of that subject, you can check Osmosis out as well. Even that is subscription and free. Some videos are free and some videos you need to pay for, but we're just trying to give you all the different resources which are legitimate and reliable to kind of, you know, help you navigate through the exam. Yeah. All right. So any other resources that you used in the advanced phase?
Yes. So I was supposed to join here at Rochester during March. So what I got was I got an extra month of preparation, I would say. So on an average, someone will require like 3 to 4 months of like advanced study when they're like totally solely focusing on step 2 CK. So since I got like about 4 months of this, so what I did was like I subscribed for the Ambos question bank, and that was really helpful. So Ambos question one, when I am comparing that to TrueYou World, is really, really difficult. So it's not to be underestimated in any way, since like it's a new question bank. Some people might think like, why should I do this? So I was getting like maybe 50% correct answers on Ambos, while I was like shooting for maybe 75, 80% on TrueYou World blocks. So Ambos, what it did was it exactly pinpointed those details. It's like the professor in med school who is like, who knows what you know and what you don't know. And he's exactly going to ask that question. So if you have this time, this extra time, like 15 days, 20 days, whatever, and if you can go over some of the weaker subjects, like, you know, what you're weak in, like maybe psychiatry or like surgery, whatever, you can try to do Ambos question bank. So that might be helpful for someone.
All right. So yeah, so you basically used 2 question banks, TrueYou World and Ambos, and you used several other resources, both in basic and advanced. Don't worry guys, I know it's a lot, but we'll write it all in the comment section or in the description box to the blog. And so roughly you spent how many months for the step 2 CK, including the number of internship, you know, the basic prep, just to kind of...
Yeah, so internship was 1 year, but I only got maybe around like 2 months of study period during that when I solved TrueYou World, and maybe a little bit of this and that throughout like my major postings, because you know, like in the government hospitals, like postings are like really like time consuming, I would say, to say the least. But for advanced prep, I would say anything from 3 months to 4 months should be enough when you are like solely focused on TrueYou World. And like if you have time, like maybe you can spend 15 days on doing Ambos. 2 other resources I would recommend if you have time is CMS forms. So there are like several forms, CMS, and there is also this NBME forms, but these are like optional. They are like not really super high yield. If you have the chance of doing TrueYou World twice, do that. If you have some extra time after doing TrueYou World, try to do the Ambos question bank. If you still have some extra time, you might try some of the CMS forms and NBME. Yeah. So
when did you start taking the CMS and the NBME forms? Was that in the end of your advanced stage?
Yes. So like you should be done with TrueYou World first. Like when you know it through and through, then only should you go for like the other resources, because without knowing TrueYou World, you're not going to do well on this test, because they really know like what the test is all about. Because like you said before, like the teaching points of this individual questions are really important more than the question itself. And doing a lot of resources and doing tons of questions doesn't make sense when you don't really understand the teaching points. So only when you're through and through with TrueYou World, you should try these other resources. One thing I want to add is before you take your exam, try to take one of the NBMEs, like can be 6 or 7 or like whatever NBME you have in this particular year. And the best marker for your test, like the gold standard, I would say, is TrueYou World self-assessment 2. Now they are doing some kind of black magic or witchcraft. So whatever marks you are going to get in UWSA 2, surprisingly, it's the same marks for like the real test. So I got a 266 on UWSA 2 and 266 on the like main exam. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So fine. So I think you've given us a very good overview of all the resources you took. Anything else that you'd like to add on, any other advice for everyone? We're going to kind of leave the comment section for any questions that the viewers may have, so that, even later, once we put this video, if anyone has any questions, guys, please let us know, and we'll try our best. I mean, he'll try his level best to answer them. And yeah, so anything else that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, sure. So I think like the most common question which we are going to get is like, do I need to study something from step one, and why is this huge gap? So I took step one in 2016 and 2020, and how does that affect? A lot of people have this notion that if you took your step one on the month of March, and then after 3 months, if you take step two CK, or like 4 months, you have this good grasp of everything. That's not really the case. It depends on your own preparation of step one and your own basic knowledge. So you can take a long time. I guess 4 years is a long time between these two exams, but at the same time, like, it depends on you. If you want to revise your pharmacology, microbiology, something else. And the second question which a lot of people are going to ask is about MTB, Master the Boards, and first step 2 CK. Now, I owned these two books personally. I didn't like them. I think like online merit in a video format is much more inclusive, it being an audiovisual source. And apart from that, TrueYou World is really detailed. So if you have the time, if you want to try it, go ahead and try it, get a second-hand copy from your friend or senior. But I didn't find this useful. You might. So yeah, it depends on you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And can you please just give us your score again, so that everyone is absolutely floored by your effort and the results it bore?
No, I think like that's not the case. So step two CK, a lot of people get a higher marks compared to step one. I got a 266. I think I put in a lot of effort for this, not because of the score. I wanted to learn, because I will eventually join residency. I think the primary goal of us should always to like learn as much as possible. And then of course, as a secondary goal, like try to get the highest marks. Yeah.
So thank you so much for all your help, and yeah, we hope we get a lot of questions and you have all of those questions to answer. And yeah, we hope this video is helpful for everyone who's watching it. Thanks.
So I want to add something. So Sakhi is quite modest. So she took her step one also in 2017. We are from the same institution, and she also did really well. What I'm really interested to share about Sakhi is like, we can do future videos if you guys like this format. I think it's it might be a little bit lengthy, but anyway. So Sakhi wants to do neurology, and she did her neurology electives from Mayo Clinic. So that's quite a lot, and not a lot of people get chance to do an elective at Mayo Clinic and also at University of Alabama. Both of these are like one of the two of the top 10 institutions in like the United States, and definitely one of the best in the world. So yeah, she wants to pursue a neurology career. If other people are interested in knowing more about neurology, or like how to go about like finding these electives and other things, so you can definitely post as a comment section, or you can like contact us on Messenger, and we will try to get back to you. And if you like this format, we can like make more videos like this.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, once we start putting this video, and if we see that it's getting good responses, then we'll make more of our posts in this format. So yeah, cheers guys, take care, and I hope everyone's safe and doing well and fine. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.